Welcome to Cinematic Excrement. Couldn't avoid this one, could I?
I mean, how could I pass up Sharknado? This movie is begging for a snarky review based on the title alone. This exercise in ridiculousness was first introduced to the public as a sci-fi original movie. And yes, I still refuse to pronounce it sci-fi. Because I'm a dick. And it was recently released on home video by those fine purveyors of schlock we all know and love, The Asylum. The Sci-Fi Channel and The Asylum. There's a match made in heaven.
But rest assured, this is no ordinary Asylum movie, and that becomes apparent as soon as you look at the box. You know how most Asylum DVD boxes have one or two uncited quotes on them? Well, on this one, they're actually cited.
It has to be seen to be believed, shock till you drop. An amazingly unique site, the B-Movie Shelf. I can't believe how much I loved it, Dread Central.
These are real websites. I checked. And that's not all. Check out the casting for this movie.
Ian Ziering, Tara Reid, John Hurd, Jason Simmons, Cassie Scarbo.
There were actually some talented people in this movie. And Tara Reid.
Okay, I confess that was a low blow, but I don't think anyone has ever thought of Tara Reid as a great actress. That being said, while her performance in this movie is pretty abysmal, I have to wonder if some of it was deliberate, considering she gave an infinitely better performance in a Sharknado parody sketch on Arsenio Hall.
In other news, Arsenio Hall is back on the air. Not that I'm complaining, but how the hell did that happen?
Anyway, I'm sure I don't have to tell you this movie is probably going to be incredibly stupid. You knew that as soon as you heard the title and who produced it. The only question is, will it still be enjoyable in spite of, or perhaps because of its stupidity? Well, let's dive in and find out, shall we? Our story begins 20 miles off the coast of Mexico, which is about as specific as Seaport Eastern Mediterranean, where the world's smallest shark fishing boat has pulled in a haul that's probably too big for it to carry. Down below decks, Captain Spaniard has entered into negotiations with Asian businessman to sell the shark meat. I'm sure these characters have names, but they won't be around much longer, so who cares? Asian businessman offers a box containing a down payment, but before the captain can count it, he is distracted by cries from his crew warning of an incoming storm. Suddenly, one of the crewmen is tackled by a flying shark who proceeds to, I shit you not, swallow the man whole.
If you enjoyed that glorious visual, sit tight. There's more where that came from.
While that's going on, Asian businessman has swiped the money he previously offered Captain Spaniard, along with a pistol, and tells the captain he's taking the money, the boat, and all of its precious cargo. He gets a predictable response.
I don't think so.
After he gets eaten by a shark, a tornado suddenly appears right the fuck out of nowhere, perhaps the same tornado that got Jonathan Kent, and the captain is ripped apart by a computer-generated torrent of wind, rain, and sharks.
Whoa! It's a good song title.
And then we instantly cut to the beach.
That was a jarring transition.
After the obligatory beach montage, we're introduced to surfer Finley Shepard, known to his friends as Finn, Hardy Har Har, played by Ian Ziering, and his jet ski riding buddy Baz, played by Jason Simmons. For a while they're just enjoying the waves, until a school of ravenous sharks suddenly descends upon the beach and starts attacking everything with a pulse, including this guy who was standing just offshore in knee-deep water. How'd the shark pull that off? Baz sustains a nasty bite to the leg, but Finn manages to fight off the shark with his board, and they head to safety. Notice how Baz's arm is draped over Finn's shoulder, then suddenly pulled away, then back over his shoulder again, etc.
Normally I'd say continuity is not a polite suggestion, but I don't think this movie cares.
After patching up Baz's leg, the two beach bums head to Finn's bar on the Santa Monica Pier, where we meet Nova, a waitress with a scar on her leg that certainly didn't come from a shark bite, played by Cassie Scarbo, and George, the town drunk in sexual harassment suit waiting to happen, played by John Hurd. And apparently this movie was sponsored by Panasonic, but not by Jägermeister. I didn't get this footage from the Blu-ray, by the way. I'm watching this in standard definition, and I can still see the tape. Who did they think they were fooling? Anyway, everyone is understandably freaked out by the sudden appearance of sharks on the beach, and to make matters worse, there's a hurricane approaching the Santa Monica coast that threatens to flood the area.
Wait a minute here. A hurricane? So why isn't the movie called Sharkicane instead of Sharknado? That's false advertising.
A concerned Finn immediately calls up his ex-wife April, played by Tara Reid, to make sure she and their daughter are safe.
I think you guys should get out of town.
What are you talking about? We're 100 miles from the ocean.
You're exactly 6.6 miles from the ocean.
Well, it looks like Tara Reid is playing a complete moron. Great casting!
We then get several shots of storm clouds and large waves, letting us know the storm is rapidly approaching, even though everything looks calm and sunny in this wide shot. Suddenly, a shark flies through the window. That's a sentence I never thought I'd say.
If you got that reference, 50 bonus points.
Our heroes decide it's time to get the hell out of Dodge, and they grab a few weapons that Finn kept behind the bar. Except George, who grabs his bar stool. Believe it or not, this does come in handy when trying to fend off the sharks invading the Santa Monica Pier. I guess George took fighting lessons from Nick Frost. Baz and Finn also take out a shark by shoving a helium tank that just happened to be lying around, how goddamn convenient, into a shark's mouth and shooting it. Gee, I wonder where they got that idea.
Well, you son of a...
Also, didn't the Mythbusters prove that wouldn't work?
They managed to survive the first wave of the storm, although Finn's restaurant is destroyed by a bad Photoshop. The rain starts coming down pretty hard, and they head inland toward Beverly Hills so Finn can check on his family. They decide the freeway is their best option since it's higher ground and they can avoid the flooding. Unfortunately, they have some trouble getting on the 405, much to the surprise of no one.
I hate the 405.
They do their best to weave around the various cars parked on the 405 on-ramp. And don't ask me why they're parked there, because the movie never bothers to explain this. They even acknowledge the lack of explanation on the DVD commentary, so at least they know. As they reach the top of the on-ramp, the water starts rising behind them, and the street fills with sharks. Finn decides he can't just leave everyone to die and springs into action, and his friends soon follow. They tell everyone to get to higher ground and... wait, wasn't the street flooding a second ago? Where'd all the water go? They save as many people as they can, but unfortunately, George doesn't make it.
John Hurd, no! You were the best actor in this movie! And we're only 30 minutes in. Damn it.
With no time to mourn their fallen sot, they climb into their CGI car. Seriously, was it that hard to film a real one? And they head for Beverly Hills. When they arrive at April's home, she doesn't seem too pleased to see them.
Just go away. Take your little stripper friend and Baz, leave.
Nice shot!
By the way, I'm not a stripper.
The term is exotic dancer, thank you very much.
Finn quickly finds his daughter Claudia and says he's taking her and her mom inland to escape the flooding. But Claudia isn't too keen on going anywhere with her dad, nor is her mom's douchey boyfriend, Colin.
Oh, Shepard. Should have figured it was you.
Now that's impressive. I've known this character for about 10 seconds, and already I want him to die. Even Twilight couldn't pull that off. Finn tries to tell this jackass that the storm isn't just a passing shower, plus, as Nova points out, there are fucking sharks everywhere. The streets, the sewers, even their swimming pool.
Sharks in the swimming pool is impossible.
Sharks? In my swimming pool? It's more likely than you think.
Speaking of swimming pools, this set was actually built inside one so they could easily flood it. It's creative, I'll give him that. Colin quickly becomes shark food, and nothing of value was lost. When discussing what to do next, Finn suggests they head for the desert, but Claudia tells him they have to head to Van Nuys to get Matt. Yeah, it turns out Finn has a son as well, and he's currently attending flight school, which surprises Finn as he thought Matt was vacationing in Florida. No one bothered to tell him because Colin decided the lives of Finn's children were no longer any of his concern. What an asshole! Anyway, a shark is still on the prowl in the living room, so Finn volunteers to distract it so the others can escape. Wait, how did they get out? The house was flooded. Even if they managed to open the door, water should be pouring out into the driveway. And Finn got out too? What the hell? I'm sure it sounds strange to ask this of a movie about sharks invading the streets of California, but could some part of this movie make sense? Oh, now water comes pouring out of the house. Fucking brilliant.
Always thought there'd be an earthquake that'd be the end of Los Angeles.
Or a meteor shower. Zombies even.
Yeah,
Black Plague. Aliens. But sharks? Come on.
yeah.
That's okay, movie. You don't have to point out how ridiculous your plot is. We noticed.
On the way to Van Nuys, they come across a school bus stuck in the water with several kids trapped inside, along with their bus driver, the amazing atheist. Okay, no, that's actually Robbie Rist, a former child star who currently makes a living as a voice actor. Finn says they should try to help them, but for some bizarre reason, April shoots him down.
This is so typical of you, Finn. You care more about other people than you do your own family.
How dare you even consider selflessly risking your life to save others? Who do you think you are, a decent human being?
Seriously, what the fuck is her deal? And Claudia isn't much better. She made it perfectly clear since Finn showed up at her house that she wants nothing to do with her dad. But why? Obviously, the marriage didn't end well, so I can understand if their relationship has some issues, but so far the movie has painted Finn as a very likable guy. If they do in fact have a legit reason to hate him so much, we need to know what that is. Otherwise, this just feels like drama for the sake of drama. Anyway, Finn rightfully tells April to get stuffed, and he drives up to the overpass, ties a rope to his car, and rappels down to the bus. Yeah, he just happened to have rappelling equipment with him. Go with it. Oh, and fun fact, while they did use a stunt double for a few shots, Ian Ziering actually did a good portion of the rappelling himself. Good for him. With the speed of a jump cut, they manage to get the kids to safety, and the two adults eventually make it up as well. An ambulance arrives to drive the kids off this picture, and it looks like the weather is finally clearing up. Until about 5 seconds later, when the hurricane suddenly returns out of nowhere, and our heroes have to dodge pieces of the Hollywood sign.
You're gonna make this look good in post, right?
Hell is post. Keep flailing.
But they manage to avoid the danger, and the winds vanish as quickly as they came.
My mom always told me Hollywood would kill me.
Ah, Robbie the bus driver, we hardly knew ye. Seriously, you were only in the movie for about 5 minutes.